Burger King is vying for the throne of politeness thanks to AI. What a title. Burger King is entering the AI chatbot race with Patty.
Okay, unironically, pretty funny.
The name?
Yeah.
It's a good name. The OpenAI-powered Burger King assistant who will live in the headsets of employees with the purpose of assisting with meal preparation, notifying management of issues such as a downed point of sale or low stock, as well as evaluating employee interactions with customers for friendliness by tracking the use of phrases such as "Welcome to Burger King," "Please," and "Thank you."
Okay.
See, I don't think it's in the mic. What says it's in the mic?
Well, it would have to be if it's listening to what you're saying, as in the employee.
Oh, I thought you meant like it would like override sometimes and just start talking. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's definitely listening.
Yeah, so I thought this was peak dystopian.
I just think they were already doing it. That's why I didn't react.
You think they were
much.
already doing this?
I thought they were already tracking phrases and stuff.
Is that a thing?
I thought they were, because everything that goes through the mic is technically going through a computer system. Like McDonald's has like server racks.
Are you sure?
No, it's not. No, I'm not sure, to be clear.
Okay.
I just thought that.
Because I was not aware of this at all. But basically, like, this pretty much, as far as I can tell, is like a turbocharged version of the coffee shop AI thing that did we show on WAN Show, or was I just talking to one of the writers about that? I can't remember.
Coffee shop.
But it had like boxes around people and like said how many drinks that they had made in the last hour and like tracked how long customers had been sitting at particular tables.
These are the types of things that I thought kind of already existed.
But this, putting it right in the headset, so all of a sudden you could get like a counseling notice for forgetting to say please to a customer 10 times in one day, or like whatever threshold they set. Like this is the step. This is it. This is the step before complete human replacement.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like I was talking to Yvonne about this because this is going to be one of those times when I feel like there's going to be a group of people that are not going to like what I say. As an employer who at this time in companies wholly owned and operated by himself has somewhere in the neighborhood of around 150 plus people. Because usually when we give the employee count, we're just talking like Linus Media Group and like closely affiliated companies. But you start to bake in things like the Smash Champs Badminton Club. Like they've got a lot of part-timers. It's retail, right? Like it's a bit of a different situation. We've had major issues sometimes with people who, in many cases, like we don't always get pay scales perfect, but with people who in many cases are very competitively compensated for what they're doing things on the clock that I think it would be hard to argue are not unacceptable. So, for instance,
are not acceptable.
Hiding in a bathroom and having a nap when you are on shift.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's a fun one.
There's a certain corner of the internet for whom wage theft exists, but time theft does not. Trying to have a balanced take here, I say they both exist.
Sure.
And to some people, that will be very controversial. To them, I say, hey, you run a business. See how well that works for you. All right, cool. Good chat.
Output.
All right. So with that in mind, basically how my conversation with Yvonne went was there's a huge problem because you have, and I think it's really important to point this out, a minority of employees who behave in such a way that supervision is necessary. You have, I hope, a minority of employers who behave in such an overbearing manner that we have exceeded supervision and we have made it to monitoring.
There are many such cases, however, where there's maybe there's one bad apple, maybe one person fell asleep in one bathroom, and then
that's not what I'm talking about.
Sure, but
unfortunately,
but there tends to be some really oddly expensive to the point where you're never going to pay it back off and overbearing reactions.
Okay, so that's kind of where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So you exceed supervision, which in my mind should largely be traditionally human supervision, right? So you exceed supervision, you make it into monitoring. You make it into I think monitoring
attempting
is
to just puppet. Yeah.
And I think part of our problem right now is that we're in a death spiral. Because the more of this monitoring level of supervision, the more you make your way into complete breach of autonomy and privacy at any given moment, the more disenfranchised you might have a worker become. And the bottom line is, as a business, you're never going to be happy about giving money to someone who's not getting work done. And if they're not getting work done because of how hyper disenfranchised they are, that's not going to change. You're not going to want to pay them to do work they're not doing. And then you're going to try to monitor them more. They become more disenfranchised. They want to do less work. And I feel like while in any individual workplace, you can break the cycle, collectively,
as a people,
as a society,
yeah,
I feel like we're circling the drain here. And
I mean, wages are not keeping up. It's hard to be motivated at work when you make work long hours, make little money, whatever that.
Lawsworth says, I think the word you're looking for is micromanagement, but I'm not.
No, yeah.
Because there's a big difference between micromanagement, which might be necessary in some cases, or that person should just be let go. But sometimes that's not what you want to do. Sometimes you'd rather kind of go, okay, no, we really need to carefully set expectations here, whatever it is, right? But that's really different from, I have a camera trained on you at all times that has an AI monitoring it, that is compiling data and stats that I can go back retroactively and dig through anytime you were ever on shift and any little thing you ever did. That's not micromanagement. That's spying, if that makes sense. And to be clear, we have cameras in our places of work. We're on camera right now, and I'm not talking about that one or this one or this one. Where is it? Whatever, it's in here. There's a security camera in here. Thanks, Dan. Dan pointed out. I still can't see it. Whatever. I assume Dan knows what's going on. Look at him. That's the face of a man who knows.
It's over there in the corner.
Thanks, Dan. Perfect. And oh man, see, this is where the realities of running a business kind of coincide or collide with some of my philosophical I wish it was this way beliefs. At Smash Champs, for instance, the extensive security system that we have has resulted in reduced shrink for our retail operation. It has resulted in multiple cases where we have been able to ban members who have stolen from our other members.
Oh
yeah. I mean, dude, people are fucked up, man. It's
that sucks.
We're trying to have a community here. We're trying to just play sports together. And you've got people that will be caught in 4K, taking something that's not theirs. And we have literally heard the, oh, I didn't know that belonged to them line. I fucking hate that line.
Did it belong to you?
Did it belong to you? Then why would you take it? I hate that. I get
what kind of
triggered
size? Rackets?
By that line. Yeah, we've had rackets, shuttles. Shuttles are becoming a big one because
they're so expensive.
Because they've become so expensive, and even used like rat bag shuttles are actually going for money. Not much. It's by the pound because people will use them for training. They'll use them for just feeding drills and stuff. Yeah. And it used to be that those were considered oh, here you go, worthless. Now they're like worth money now because new shuttles have gotten so expensive. And so because people like need to carry a tube around with them, and because all the tubes kind of look the same, like with rackets, people have it like in their bag. You'd have to be pretty conspicuous to like open someone's bag and take a racket out, right? But shuttles, they'll have them on the bench, you know? And so we've had cases with rackets, we've had cases with phones.
Oh,
right?
Yikes. A phone is so like personal. Ugh.
Yeah, that one was really unfortunate because it was an acquaintance of an acquaintance. It was a known person, so that was a really
Yikes.
unfortunate conversation to have.
Don't like that.
You know, we've had all kinds of things. We had an allegation from a neighbor that a member performed a act in public near our facility.
Oh yeah.
And we had to track that down.
That was wild.
And look, that
was like a GTA moment.
Dude, we've been operating for a year. Yeah. And already this is just the stuff that's flowing off the top of my head, man. Right? And so I'm sitting here going like, yeah, on the one hand, you know, yeah, we shouldn't have cameras everywhere, man, and like all the cameras, man. But on the other hand, I'm sitting here going, how on earth would we have resolved some of this stuff if we didn't have a record that we could track back to?
I think it depends on the usage of it.
Was the bio moment solo? Yeah, it was a solo bio moment for sure. For sure, bud.
I think like, are you sitting there in an office upstairs with the like stockbroker style monitors, just staring at all your employees all day?
Me?
If so, no,
I mean,
no.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't have that.
So if
console.
you're doing something like that, like that's clearly like, oh my God, go away. If you're reviewing footage in case of incidents, that no longer really bothers me. I'm pretty sure in Canada you can't record audio in like an office style workplace.
Oh, I don't know.
I think that's a thing. Yeah, we were trying to figure out, because I think we wanted the audio for the badminton footage or something.
Oh, yeah, for like...
And then we were like, wait,
like games.
Can we? And then there was like something, because it's a public venue and it's like a service that's being offered and therefore talked about, and there's like signs and stuff, then it like becomes more fine. But if I remember correctly, regardless of the signs situation, if it's just like an office, you just can't do it. Like it's
I think it was more okay for the public, but it wasn't okay for the employees.
Yeah.
SF Wong, this is a good one. As a business, what about using AI to monitor things like a manufacturing floor to do time studies and improve inefficiencies rather than to judge people?
So it's, what the?
Boy, are you ever treading a fine line there,
That's
brother.
not treading the fine line. They're
That's
just running
already
back
a
and
product.
forth across it.
No, the world's most ethical manufacturing foreman, sure, could be looking purely for ways that they could improve their own performance by laying... What I'm saying is not untrue. By laying out the stations more efficiently or whatever, but literally any human being in existence would also be looking at the other meat bags out there and figuring out, which ones of them are, scrolling on their phone instead of popping widgets together or whatever else it is they're supposed to be doing.
And it's very like inhuman to expect people to be 100% on task for 4 hours and then 30 minutes later 4 more hours. It's like not really how humans work. But there's so things get a little bit weird because you give people too much data and then they're like, wait, I don't like that. I paid for that minute. I need you working for that minute. And again, it's just not really how people work. But then like, how do you find the acceptable bar? Because you actually do need output from them or else your business closes. So like it's, yeah. That's where, like, ideally you find, in my perfect happy fun time world, ideally you find a measurable...
Can I work there?
So, ideally you find a measurable amount of output that you want from this person that is worth the amount of money you're paying for them. And if they're hitting that output, it doesn't really matter too much on the other end. But that's... certain positions, it's really hard to measure.
It's all relative.
Yeah, that too. But it can be like, okay, what if this isn't a widget maker, right? Like, what if this is something completely different? How do you measure the output of every single possible role at Linus Media Group, for example?
No.
Like, that's potentially impossible.
We have a really
We're a weird business, and we have a lot of people that wear a lot of funky hats.
Yep.
Not even normal hats. We have a lot of people that wear some really weird hats.
Yep.
And potentially a lot of them at once. So it's like, how do you measure the output of that person?
almost impossible.
Very difficult. So, yeah.